sessions on time and safely. We would also like to thank those people who helped and agreed to help bring the Congress to Myanmar, the ILBC school, and the work with them on recreating Congress here. This is out from here, but this will always be the central meeting point if we get going. Now I would like to introduce to you our introduction to the Congress and to the association. Please join me in welcoming our president, Mr. Burton.
I wasn't thinking that's where it fails in terms of how we take this forward today. Joe and his team time at SEADOM. Bravo, thank you, welcome, please. Because obviously, if we're talking about seeding the music, taking the seeds out into the ground, important to us is over time to gradually come to know the region. It's a region of 600 million people. 650 now, are we going with? Okay, fine. I always say over 600, sorry, 650 million people. And it's therefore an extraordinary, rich area in terms of geography, culture, religion, politics, and so on. But there's an opportunity here, because of our regional connections and associations, to take things forward in the 21st century and to make it a very different place at the end of the century from the beginning. In Southeast Asia, thank you. Yes, Vietnam, thank you. There we are. Yes, exactly. But I was sufficiently curious to be here today. So, do you think the service well done? Read. Gary is looking over there. Keynote speaker Gary. Students started on a project which we'll hear on Saturday. But of course, it was established really, well, at least 2008, with the communities it became obvious that as ASEAN was evolving, music needed to try and find a way to link up at least as well as some of the other regions in the scientific areas, medical fields, business, and so on. One of the things we heard last year was that actually the art is sort of human cultures. So, for example, the issues to do with, because that's the one where we reach out into the community and try to get music to map ahead more changes that are taking place at present to make music real. And so it seemed for us a perfect place to talk about seeding the musical ground, how we at higher education level might be able to have impact on what gets done for music from the start and across the community. It's been interesting this year, just at the political level. Aung San Suu Kyi, for example, here with the orchestra and some of the musicians from Myanmar at a concert we were doing here in Myanmar in August. But actually, I know that not only was she there, but actually most of the cabinet of Myanmar came to that concert, and also came to a number of other musical concerts that had taken place in Myanmar over the last 12 months. Now, given the volume of energy and development that is going on in Myanmar, that much time was given to culture by an entire cabinet, I think is extremely powerful. And this is a fascinating thing that we're seeing, obviously, across Southeast Asia. For example, we saw it last year in Laos, that again, the political connection was very real. The second thing was just this idea of cultural interchange, that I know we brought our first year undergraduate students to make some music together with the musicians here. And they were here in week 3 of their professional training. Their experience here completely blew their mind in terms of their reimagining of how music communicates. They didn't expect that to happen. They thought they would be coming and just playing alongside. But in this session, for example, they were absolutely having to rethink how music functions. At a very real level, it was what happens when you're not counting in a logical system, but feeling the commonality of the music making. That was a very real one to move into the future and as ASEAN gets stronger. Thank you.
National representative, and she will tell you what are the projects that we do. In fact, we were inspired by the Thais, because the Thais were meeting, and so it's like, oh, okay, Malaysians also have to meet, and therefore we were doing that. So that part of it I leave, yeah. Allow me, I'd like to promote CMEX, which is short for Southeast Asia Music Education Exchange. So call it an exchange, basically it's a platform for musicians to come together. Musicians, I mean music teachers, music lecturers, music students, music practitioners, this is the first time it's being held. And so we have to try and error and see what comes out of it. So far, I started promoting this since last year, 2016. And the programs that we have put together and lay out on the table and invite all institutes, individuals to come in, include exhibitions, yeah, for institutes to exhibit your
that we could connect the universities, something that's not much hassle, simple and easy to do. So we decided that we will come up with a sort of meeting of all the universities through a performance. So each university will decide to come up with a performance, something that will showcase their strength, something that's easy, and we just get together at one university and to perform it. And this will happen in April 22nd this year. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Doctor Dan, who is not here together with us today, from Brexit universities. And since then, after this informal meeting, then the Thai university starts to have all these organizations which is called DEMAN, Thailand Higher Education Music Academic Network, which now is woman speaking. And then after that, they have like 5 meetings in different universities. And started with Silvercorn University, Kasetsat University, and PGM, our schools, and once of that, and also we just had another meeting in the south, and the next one will be hosted by Dr. Vibun in Rangsit University. So, so far, I think the first few things from the first few meetings that we did is actually to synchronize activities and staff and everything, and just really to get to know who's doing what in university. Universities, and also synchronizing events, which at the end will be really give lots of benefit to our students that they can come to all these events free of admission and those kind of things. And I think the second thing is that we sort of like share together is the hiccups that come from the Higher Education Commission, and sometimes, like, for example, the quality assurance and different things. And I think, like, just earlier over lunch, we just sort of like notifying some of the problems, and now we come to some solutions already. So from the shoulder of like activities and stuff, and then later on when we notify the problems, and maybe then we can
relevant later on. But I just thought it was useful potentially to touch on some of the things we did last year, to remind people who were there, and also for those who weren't there, that you can see how this evolves from the session last time, which was nurturing fresh evolution. Being in Laos, we were in a school which was about to offer for the first time a higher degree in music. So obviously, and also what some of the opportunities and challenges might be to connect with each other to help with this. Connection and in terms of discussion. And this was, it brought music into the national agenda in a way where it was clear that there was immediate transformation, had an energy devoted to it in order to get it to feel like it was a place which could encourage the development of art and instruments. and also making music together and with our students and so on. What we will ask people to do is to take the conversation forward in relation to those different areas. But you don't have to remember that because the person, at about 12 people, 11 or 12 people per group. Fortunately, I did maths at school. So that means roughly
and see how we can respond to the idea of stealing the music around. So maybe first, if I could invite Professor Fernando to the floor and maybe respond.
And I've been working there for 20 years now. So I'm not a musician, but I like music, and that makes me provide music for our school. So just to tell you the story in brief, I believe the school is a very good ground for seeding this music, planting music. And because children, they are carefree, really into it. But then, after 2005, after we met the Kittian, we introduced vocal music with the help of music with KG, kindergarten kids, just turning so easy, you see. So, and you know, somehow they music. That's why later we made it a compulsory subject, and it is just a taste of all the instruments we have, both Myanmar instruments as well as these other instruments there. So, and then after they have tasted each music, then in the second year, they can choose whatever music they like to really learn, and that goes on into after-school activities. And this regular in their work. Everything there. I don't know much about that, but people who really go into music are our aim. That's why I would say school is a very well developed the whole country, the whole nation. You can develop music there. That's my point of view.
And I guess to have Professor Fernando, who's, as you claim, not a musician, but have a very nice opening to us. And I think this is the whole world, is how much, like, when they start measuring music in their lives, this is the first question they ask. And I think this is how that maybe these are the answers that we can borrow from Professor Fernando in a way that how music
teaching is wrong, what I have learned so far is wrong. Or it means like this method that we taught so far doesn't help the student. So I try to figure out how to make musical, how to let my student, all my students be successful in their life, how to make them perform well in music theory class. The people who sit in the front, they're always good students, you know. But the back of the student just throw the rubber in front and just like sitting playing card games. So I thought about it, it's like, because I'm teaching something too boring, or should I don't believe that all students are bad. They just not find something that click about it a lot. And this has been a lot of good feedback from the students and the school so far. So this, I try to think this is the
other things. And then somehow, after Dr. Chagrit launched his card game, and I found that some of our students are actually spending time doing this. So in some ways,
I was at a conference last year, and a famous neuroscientist, someone who studies brain development, gave the most amazing presentation on why music is important for everyone, and particularly for children. And he started by saying, what would you prefer to be? Would you prefer to be deaf or blind? And most of the adults in the room put their hand up and over. They said they prefer to be deaf, as if you were blind would be such a challenge. And then he came back and he said, well, that is not the case for an infant. In the first couple of months of life, it is by far better for them to be blind.
few 10,000 trees. And this is 20 years after. And now it becoming one. We don't have fruits, we don't have food, and we don't have all this kind of thing. So this is kind of like, I guess it's now a new thing is that people are trying to...
A little bit, potentially a little bit further. Which is very, thank you for the very interesting...
I still have fire to do something, but I consider myself lack of experience because I don't have like mics enough, like Professor Gary. That's matter too. And so I think to combine two generations, for me, if I don't have any guidance from the older generation, I cannot.
Talking about the diversity of music and the opportunities in music and how we can teach it, and we'd never end. And I'm not sure music actually, that it's such an amazingly diverse and rich and varied sort of discipline. It's got a different specialisation or specialisations, and that's really quite something.
And the last 2 days we were running little bit of masterclass and things in Yangon.
That was the theme that Myanmar colleagues raised, teacher in the area, yeah, so that's.
And suddenly there's a different job to be done, that they have a responsibility for music that they didn't have before, and depending on where perhaps seen as it could well have been.
It's very difficult to implement and convince the government and private institutions to put music as the curriculum.
For Dr. Sidney Buglidia by Professor Bernard Lansky, music performance and dinner time. May I invite
Myanmar for their support to make this Congress possible. It's been a fantastic afternoon. It's obviously a beautiful city in a beautiful country. And as we will hear very soon, it's very rich with distinctive musical and cultural traditions. Looking forward very much to hearing the Saigon Ensemble very soon. It's wonderful to have you with us again. And to experiencing over the next few days both the opportunity to explore the about music here